This is what happened to Max, and he goes. No sign of a lock. Oh, just
that's a strange one. That he used a lot of entry curve.
Bit damp, maybe.
Oh, you can see the oscillations are already going through the car as he starts to turn in, but oh, that was close. That was well taken by George to get away. He's hit anti-stall. That car was a bit close actually for George finishing off his lap, but that's spoiled. It was a decent lap. He was a second down going into the last sector.
With Kvyat there, he's lit it up and sort of anti-locked basically. He's got a bit of staring angle.
Another off there for Nicholas Latifi, very, very similar to the Max Verstappen, the Maxident that we saw a little earlier on, the back end just going away.
Up in, he's not enjoying turn 1 at the moment, so I think there's some
so turn 1 and turn 3 he's had a moment, isn't it?
Yeah, there's some, that Mercedes just was visibly quick, wasn't it? Whoops.
That's where Lance Stroll lost out a little.
Some decent pace, very close midfield. I know that's a cliche in the great Formula One tradition.
It's a bit of a handful at the moment, the Red Bull. Where did we see that last year where they were really struggling for a while? I can't remember which track it was. That was an odd spin because the bag let go and just kept going.
Yeah. Stroll up at turn 3, and ahead of him is Romain Grosjean facing the other way. Little pirouette. And here's Kimi Räikkönen into turn 5. Little twitch, Martin, as he approaches it, and the gravel is coming up thick and fast.
Yeah, Kimi's found a bit of grip in the gravel.
Here goes Max.
Yeah, identical, you're right, to the Kimster, and he knew exactly where that road was, didn't he? And then he's got that rather tenuous moment where he's got he just cannot turn.
I tell you, he might be lucky to get away with that. So got a front rear end.
Yeah. So on board now, we saw Max Verstappen have a spin here. Oh, he got onto the curb, didn't he? On that the yellow sausage curb as well.
Box from that box. Next pushing car is Albon, 3 seconds behind.
So Giovinazzi out in Q1. Car number 99 looking a little bit flaky there as he headed onto the gravel. And that's his qualifying lap done and dusted. Oh dear, put a whole load of gravel onto the track just as Sergio Perez was coming around the corner as well. This is what happened.
So it's on power then. He's run wide on power. It wasn't on the way in, it was beautifully under control on the way in. He picked up the throttle and the front just couldn't cope with it and it drifted wide.
Don't block people, Ricciardo.
Yeah, just cutting some grass.
No, you can rejoin now. No cars on left. Strap 1 and box.
You'll see here as Ocon moves to the inside.
Yeah, because Kevin.
Yeah, he was
braking quite. Sort of almost. Yeah, the car's not slowing down, is it? And then it's all rear brake. So it looks to me like he's lost his front brakes there somewhere.
What happened at turn 4?
He's going backwards, so he dropped it on the way out of 4. Let's see where the back end tried to overtake the front. He dipped the wheel in the gravel, that's why.
Okay, brakes gone. Copy.
They're going wheel to wheel. Leclerc's on the inside. Carlos Sainz will be his teammate next year and crashes into Sebastian Vettel. This this year.
He's entitled to turn in, look, and Seb's all locked up. Seb's half spun before he even gets towards the side. That was a clumsy move there. There's no point in throwing that up there, and he, as I say, he was already throwing it into a spin, trying to avoid the inevitable contact.
And once again, forces in the long way round. Norris goes the long way round on Perez.
No, not
and
again.
again, no, with Lewis Hamilton. All the way round the outside.
This guy is searching for Leo.
He was actually ahead, wasn't he? He was ahead.
So is that Hamilton's fault once again? As he accepted blame and took blame in Brazil. Enough space around the outside.
He's taking the racing line, but Albon was a long way ahead.
So we're running on board with Sebastian Vettel. It's already off.
It's broken already.
The tyre actually came off, and that's why Kimi Räikkönen then couldn't control the car and ended up heading towards the barriers. Is the wheel in there as well?
Quite by the tether. Well, of course, the reason...
Front right corner.
Yeah, well, the tether didn't work because it's not a suspension problem.
Bounced all the way across the track and would have headed towards the tyre barrier on the outside of the final corner.
Yeah.
You never want to see a tyre doing that at all. And
Alpha lost the front wheel.
And the door was wide open. Lando was a bit clumsy, but job done. The door's wide open.
that just, the tyre shredded, disintegrated.
That's about curbs. That's about running curbs. Unless he had failure, probably feels like a puncture from where he's sitting.
What happened to Danny Kvyat then up at turn 3?
Too much minimum speed. Round she goes.
So here we go. Oh, he was already out of shape before the apex, wasn't he?
Committed.
So he's turned in there, Paul, and the car's just gone.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with where he's positioned. Just if you carry too much speed there and you lose the rear. I was actually, when we were walking the track in Wines with JB, I said exactly the same thing. You lose it early, just watch.
Whoa.
I did exactly the same thing in DTM.
Yeah.
We're referencing it as Max on a medium, so let's just see if he gets the understeer he's talking about. He's just carried too much speed in.
Did he just clout a curb and it throw him offline? Or did he just lose it in the same way Danny Rick just lost it and had no chance to recover?
This session's so interesting, like it was last year, wasn't it, when it was hot? And in the afternoon it just gets tricky to get around, but those are some nice flat spots. Look, his foot's firmly buried into the brake there, and a horrible sound when you're going through the gravel, but
ran out of track, Romain Grosjean, under braking down at turn 4 and off into the gravel, and they've obviously just checked the floor and the left-hand side pod. Giovinazzi as across the grass he goes. Dangerous position around the outside of turn 4.
An anti-lock situation there. Turned into the slide. Front tyres bit. And it just tank slapper, that's known as. There he goes. Picks up the throttle too hard on the curb. Steers into the slide. Front axle bites. And you're suddenly heading off to the left.
Is what happened right at the end. Sebastian Vettel was pitting. Whether that distracted Verstappen or not, I'm not sure. That could have been a lot worse, that one. It just slid. Let's just have a look, Martin, now. On board with Charles Leclerc. Dives down the inside as Vettel gets squeezed a bit.
Difficult start, Vettel, because, you know, Leclerc was a long way behind him. Three into one doesn't go, basically.
Leclerc gets on the curb, and that's what launches the car in the racing points. And just as I said, they were all keeping out of trouble. The two Ferraris go and prove me wrong. And that is not where he wanted to be, scrapping away in the midfield places for a much improved Williams team.
Sorry, guys.
Now Sergio Perez having a go, and Alex Albon, oh my lord, very nearly. Total disaster for Alex Albon, but Perez has got damage.
Here's Verstappen at the end of the lap. And another spin.
What was that you were saying about the Red Bull car? We've seen a lot of spins this year.
Just a bit too much minimum, and there's no saving it. That's the strange thing about it. And they get into that. There's that bump I'm on about. Yeah, nothing. You could just hear the tyre.
What happened to Latifi? We saw him going the wrong way. He's had a spin.
Same as Max earlier, isn't it?
I mean,
you are going into a tailwind there, though, if the wind is blowing.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
that is the weekend goes from bad to worse for Max Verstappen.
You see he's got that steering gone to the right, and of course it's turned to the right at the same time.
Yeah, he had to hustle it.
That's turn 12.
Yeah, just at
Bang.
12.
Now it's that left front.
I hit the
See
wall.
how turn that is?
Copy, Max.
Yeah, so when he goes into turn 12 there, you can see the shift.
Oh, that's how the Williams got a puncture.
Williams' fault.
He might have had a spin there as well. I wonder if that was the spin for Latifi.
Yeah, he's turned in, looks like quite late into the corner, and the car has said, I can't do that.
Yeah, I can see it on
Yeah,
the
so,
driver
yeah, well done.
Oh, just a bit too much wheel spin.
It's another scenario where as soon as the tyres go and the car lights go, is that blister already in the left front as well? On the inner shoulder it is, isn't it?
Or is that as a result of
No. That's a hard compound tyre. Where
two Beckett's and absolutely no chance of a recovery?
It was again when he was picking up the throttle, wasn't it? Coming out of the corner. And then, yeah, he just started to pick up the throttle there and lost the back end.
He was lucky.
It snapped quite quickly on him.
So yeah, turn 4 is some reason it's the same profile as turn 3 in terms of its angle, losing the rear just on the exit, but
He wasn't
turn 4 than turn 3.
He didn't set turn 4 up enough, did he? And he tried to carry too much minimum speed. A bit too quick through 3, I think.
You okay? I can see the car's damaged.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Just lost the rear again.
Here we go. Kimi Räikkönen.
Exactly the same as Albon, isn't it? But it's just not switched back.
Yeah, it just happened a bit later in the corner, and it was more of a definite.
obviously carrying much less speed because he was on a race sim, not a qualifying sim.
The upgrades aero and mechanical seem to be working well, and George Russell has found a good setup with the car. We'll do again later on.
I'll tell you what, Ted, your bet's looking a bit better than mine at the moment.
And it fixed the problem. In fact, it's never. Oh dear, that is not where you need to be, Lando.
No.
I spun.
And he carries on, Martin, that 100% record to his teammate, who's got that sinking feeling of just getting it all wrong around Luffield.
New lap record for Bottas. Oh dear.
Car's okay and tyres okay.
Okay, copy.
Not entirely sure about the left front tyre. But yeah, that's the same place as Latifi, but that was rotating before he even really got to the end of the corner.
Here's Alex Albon on the inside of Kevin Magnussen. Have they touched? Oh yes, they have.
But there was the curb, and that is what put Magnussen really out of rhythm and slowed him down. And Albon thought he could.
I don't know where to go, to be honest.
Well, Albon had every right to go for a gap that soon disappeared as Kevin Magnussen took that corner, because he had the better traction coming out of the chicane, was gaining on the Haas, and thought there's a place up for grabs here. Someone's had a very, very big crash, and it's Danny Kvyat. The replay of Danny Kvyat. Now, we've seen a lot of cars getting caught out by the wind, the gusting wind around Silverstone.
You got so much downforce there. Yeah, right rear tyre, puncture, or let's call it a puncture for now. Into maggots.
Oh, you see it scraping on the ground. Did he?
I think punctured the front tyre. It has.
Yeah.
It's machined a groove in the tyre.
What's happened to Valtteri Bottas? He's gone wide and
Something happened. Something happened with the fire.
So you got a puncher from left. So Verstappen at 2 seconds. Box. Diff mid 12.
past Carlos Sainz, and he's got tyre problems as well.
Oh, puncture.
Copy, Carlos will have to box.
He'll have a job to get round the right-hander.
And that is Lewis Hamilton, 4 corners behind. This is now Lewis Hamilton praying that the checkered flag comes as soon as is humanly possible.
Road actually runs in the grass. Grass cutter was out there yesterday doing it.
Hulkenberg has been ahead of his teammates for parts of this weekend.
Okay, mate, we've still got one more set. You're clear behind at the moment. So
a decent start. He's in his teammate locks up a bit. So he picked up some wheel spin on the curb with his right rear on the curb, collected it back up again.
It's a good job. There's a lot of runoff area there.
Yeah, so Seb took way too much of the right-hand curb. Vettel was on the throttle on a bad bit of curb, and it sent him into a slide.
You really need to be a little more subtle rejoining the track. Bit bumper cars, isn't it, Martin?
Yeah, that's a fair cop. You can't do that.
On his way towards Village, he's seeing his teammate Esteban Ocon trying to get past Danny Kvyat. He had a car right to the left-hand side of him, and I think that was Carlos Sainz. I don't know whether there was contact or not, but Sainz was trying to go around the outside. Ricciardo
just locked up on the braking, didn't he? Just locked the rear wheels up on the braking.
His dad, by the way, when he drove that Minardi in Hungary in 2005, he was 12.9 seconds off the pace. He was 6.8. That's the target, Roy. He's not having the worst FP1 session ever. This is Bottas.
Way too wide there already.
He had no grip, didn't he?
Lost it. Yeah. I'm off here. I'm off.
He just understeered off the road.
But he was just way too far out in the middle of the corner. He went into the dirty part of the track.
And then he comes, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So Kevin Magnussen has not only overtaken Esteban Ocon, but then he's slowed right down and he is veered over into the centre of the track. What is he doing? I'll ask you the question, Nico.
Well,
what's Kevin Magnussen doing there?
It's to me as well that Ocon is just not really concentrating from some distance. Maybe he was looking down on his settings or something. It did look like he was not 100% focused. But
Esteban Ocon and Kevin Magnussen then, because for the layman, Magnussen is going slowly and veering.
Engine stopped, broken. I mean, I don't know what happened.
So into the chicane.
Oh, the engine died.
Completely.
He just locked the back axle. It's like pulling the handbrake on. That's not his fault.
Romain Grosjean down into turn 1. There's another one for the Drivers Association of Antonio Giovinazzi. A bit falling off the Haas for good measure.
Here's Romain Grosjean, turn 7 and 8.
Oh, he hit the curb, didn't he? Hit that sausage curb, or it certainly looked that way, and somehow managed to hold the Haas. Well done, Romain Grosjean. Good reactions from him.
Then here's Magnussen going off the road, as I mentioned.
So that's good off-roading skills from Kevin Magnussen as well.
Yeah.
Through the gravel down at Stavolo.
Yeah. It was a snap oversteer that he turned into, as you should do on the road. Your car starts to slide, but then the front tyres bite.
Have a bit of a coming together between the two Ferraris.
Yeah, that could so easily be the get away with it. It was all fair racing.
Both drivers climbing out. Let's see, gets on the curb. Right, now we're on board with Giovinazzi. Whoa. And that, you can see George Russell trying to get out of the way, but...
I don't think he hit Giovinazzi. I think
no, he didn't. I think he was already going off.
Was he already losing a wheel?
That front left tyre, that front left wheel, let's see now. Oh yes, or front right.
Yeah, right.
First,
so
it hit the wheel.
He did, he hit parts of Giovinazzi.
No catching them now, is there?
No, not at all.
Oh, I tell you, it could have been so much worse, couldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, he's lucky he's just got away with the front wing. Oh, he went right across these sausage curves that were sitting on top of the inside of the last part of the Ascari chicane. I'd imagine it'd be a floor change, but...
He's done well to keep that engine going, as well, and have the presence of mind to make sure.
Also, it was right in the middle of that chicane, just as you're really starting to get onto.
You'd see Williams sort of back to those winning ways, and we had sort of that little mid moment a couple of years ago, probably 4 years ago now, wasn't it, with Felipe Massa and Valtteri Bottas doing some cracking races,
leading Silverstone as they did. Watch this space. Johnny, what do you make of that?
Classic spin going into that centre case. Let's have a look. Not overly so. I think he just carried speed. Back end just didn't want to sit down for him at all. Oh,
it's not the quickest way, that.
Right for the two Ferraris, and yes.
Just lit it up, didn't he? Then he picked throttle up, the car, bit of wheel spin and spun around.
And luckily, and I don't think too much damage, if any at all, because he's not gone in too hard. He forced the Renault behind a Daniel Ricciardo just to stamp on the brakes a bit.
It was a bit wide.
Yeah,
through there.
Wasn't it? To get an edge for his
2
team.
seconds, Ted.
The car is so hard to drive.
Sebastian Vettel through that Lesmo.
Very similar phase of the corner. You know, again, a little bit wider than he would have wanted to be.
Just a typical start. 3 into 2 doesn't go, but
Racing with the Ferraris. Oh, and Sebastian Vettel locks up, goes straight through the polystyrene blocks. And the brake failure. The stewards have given Alex Albon a 5-second time penalty for failing to leave a car's width to the edge of the track.
There wasn't brake failure. Okay, he's lost the back end of the car under acceleration. So it's a 10-second stop-go penalty for Giovinazzi, which is about a 30-second penalty. Hamilton will presumably get the same. The slide, this is not brake related.
This is on board with Kimi Räikkönen looking at Charles Leclerc. Here's Charles Leclerc.
Lessons from Crofty. Brilliant.
Corantaio. Oh,
see, I told you the tyres go off in that corner. He got caught out on the speed of the car in front and couldn't carry the speed that he wanted to, and obviously as kept his foot in. I think when he got on the gravel,
he had a little twitch at the apex, which put him a little bit wide. Luckily, though, he ran down the barriers for a long time before he actually tapped it, so he was going in the same trajectory.
Sorry to butt in, Justin. They've red flagged the session. They recover that McLaren. We can see a better angle from here. Touches the barrier there, and then the tyre just kind of spins the car away.
That's why he didn't get it wrong. He got tagged.
He got tagged by Sergio Perez. Really?
Well, there should have been a radio call, to be fair.
Oh.
I don't know what the car came from the pit lane.
So let's just have a little look at that pit lane exit, because look, for a bit of debris down there. Do they need to look a little bit more at that pit lane exit? Is there anything they can do with it?
Sorry, Anne, you were right.
It was Biondetti, the chicane. So Jensen was right there. So we'll make that little note there. That track sector 15 is turn 13, ladies and gentlemen.
Brilliantly executed. That's a lovely 360.
The second part of it.
Pirouette and a half. That one. Look at that. There it goes.
He's in P5 at the moment, Gasly as well, isn't it?
Oh, a little bit of a cheeky snap of oversteer on the way in. And that's what we want to see, isn't it? You're massively compromised, but no damage to the car. That's perfect. That's where the gravel and the grass.
T7. How did he find enough grip?
Not enough. Sorry, guys.
Go with it, as I say, coming down the hill through Cervelli. Oh yeah, towards the Arabiatas. That cost Danny Kvyat any chance of making it through into Q3. As his team principal Franz Tost was saying, the drivers just can't afford to make mistakes out there.
Yeah.
This was Ocon. Oh, that's why he stopped on the track. Yeah.
Ambition well ahead of Adhesion, and his engine and gearbox overtook him.
Is ahead of Alex Albon still, and there's a tangle there, and it's the McLaren, and Carlos Sainz has been spun round, and there's even further trouble. The Red Bull had made a horrendous start and absolutely smeared from behind. He had no chance of getting out of that.
And Vettel's got a broken front wing as well. There's at least half a dozen cars involved in this. It's four indeed. Four collected the spun McLaren of Carlos Sainz for good measure.
All right, let's pick our way through this. Gasly tangles with the Alfa Romeo of Kimi Räikkönen, gets launched up into the air somewhat, and you get the feeling he was a bit of a passenger and couldn't do much to avoid hitting the Red Bull.
Yeah, and then
Are you okay?
I got fucking crashed into.
Of Kevin Magnussen, and we've got another safety car coming our way.
This will take some clearing up. There's a lot of debris on the track. Hopefully the drivers are okay.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. but the back of the pack decided the race was back underway, and the front hadn't yet accelerated.
And Kevin Magnussen just basically found himself in the middle, having to slow down, and was the first point of contact for what came behind.
Yeah, well, the back end of the grid started before the front end. They anticipated, but the front of the pack hadn't yet gone.
Poor Nicholas Latifi just couldn't limp around on 3 wheels to get back to the pits, so he's out too. Magnussen, as you can see out there, spinning around. It's a good view of what happened to his right-hand side.
That was fucking stupid from whoever was at the front. They want to kill us or what? Fucking hell.
Arrabbiata 2, where he's gone into the barrier. Ooh, nothing he could do about that at all.
Yeah,
that's a high-speed crash.
Racing line, I must add.
Just
but
see, there he gets on the curb and then the back end.
I got a puncture.
Front left just lost pressure, and then we saw bits of the front wing